This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, good evening. This is Suresh here.
Hi, Suresh.
Is it audible?
Yeah, audible.
Yeah. Good evening, guys. Good evening, one and all. Okay, so guys, in our sessions last week, we have been discussing on the workflows concepts. So the way how the workflows will work, the way we are required to first configure the workflow, we are required to write a business rule to trigger the workflow, and we link that particular rule to the relevant portlet in the manage business configuration, the three-step process. So once we have that config setup done, so whenever system identifies that there is a data change, how will system trigger the workflows, how the approvers can see the workflow, and what are the options they have in a workflow, like the approve, send back, delegation, the different delegation options, and the way how you can revoke the delegation, contributors role in the workflow, and dynamic group functionality, how it looks like. So all that is what we have been looking at. So that is a very important topic in the real time, and more interesting and easy to set up as well, and even interview specific and certification question specific. These are all, that's an all important area actually. Okay, so similar topic, a topic called event reason derivation rules. So last week what we have discussed is workflow derivation rule, but now what we are now going to look towards is event reason derivation rule. It's almost a twin concept of the last week's topic. So what is the event reason, when do we use event reason, where do we use event reason, what does this derivation concept of event reason, all that we'll be looking at in our session now. Okay, so before that, any specific questions from anyone on the previous topic? Okay, so to get started with this today's topic of event reason derivation, yeah, before that, one more point on the delegation concept I want to tell you guys. So this delegation is where we saw that any workflow that came to me, if I think that I'm not the right person to approve it, and if I want to forward it to somebody else, I can delegate that particular request. But apart from that, I also told you that delegation can be used whenever you're actually going on a vacation. Okay, if you're planning for a travel or anything. So in your absence for a period of 10 days, 20 days, even 30 days, whatever. So in that period of your absence, if you want to make sure that somebody else is delegated, you maintain them as your delegate, so that any workflows that you are required to be taking care, they will take care. That is, your delegate will take care of all the approvals. So in your absence, no approvals will be affected. So for that, we are on the home page, we will be having one tile in the name of quick links, guys. Quick links as a tile. So here in this quick links, under available category, the last one you will have as auto delegate. In the quick link style on the home page, you go for the available tab. On the last one, you will have the auto delegate. So here in this auto delegate, you will have a functionality of switching on the delegation and who is the delegate. So switch on the delegation. Here, give the name of the person to whom you want to delegate. Say if Anya Singh is opting Alex as her delegate, so she can delegate, so that all the workflow requests what she has to take care will be redirected to Alex, and she can also mention the start date, start time, end time, along with the date and time actually. So on which date, at which time, date and time, till which date and which time you can give that, if you want to give it for a particular limited period. If you don't want to give it any time period, whenever I am back, I will come and switch off. It's not mandatory. Just by switching on and giving the name, you can close it. I mean, you can save it. Okay, so that way, with time or without time, the delegation can be made. Whenever whenever the end time is reached, system will automatically stop delegation. Or else, if you don't give start time and end time, just switch on until you manually come and switch off, the delegation will be active. That is a way. Okay, so this is one way where directly the entire delegation can be made. Until you come back from your vacation, all the workflows can be directly go redirected to some other person. Where the previous option what we saw last week is workflow level. Once workflow request already came to me, it is in my inbox now. But if I is looking at that record, if I think I am not the right person to approve or take a decision, I can delegate individually that particular request. Both the ways we can do it. Okay, so that is how the mass delegation works actually. So now coming back to today's topic, event reason derivation. So let me just open multiple tabs. So here, whenever we are going for an employee profile, gentlemen, we last week discussed whenever you're required to update the employee details. So it's a general information portlet. You will find the edit icon and you will just click on the edit icon and you will update the data. Or else, if it is three important areas: job information, job relationships, and compensation information. For that three informations I told you, you are not supposed to go to that particular portlet directly, and you're not supposed to click on edit here against the job information portlet and all. Here you are not supposed to go through this path. You are required to go through the right hand top corner, change job and compensation information path, and here you are required to choose what data you are going to update now. The employee job details. Job details is nothing but what is the employee's position, what is the employee's department, location, reporting manager, pay grade, regular or temporary position, full-time or part-time position. Like this, lot of details job related you will have. Job relationships is apart from reporting manager, any other relationships: HR manager, matrix manager, custom manager, all that. And compensation is all about the salary details. So in these three areas, what you want, anything you want to update, you are required to go through this path. And when you choose job information here, say I give an effective date, it will ask me the change what you're going to make, or effective which date is the change. Okay, so once you choose the effective date here, now the system is going to display you the complete fields. Once you choose the effective date here, complete details of job information it will show. Whatever area you want to update, you can update and save it. Okay, but once now I'm just making it change. Say example, if I make a employee where you say location change, I change the employee location to some other location, and if I save, so currently it is in some location. Now if I change it to Boston, I select Boston, and if I save it, system will save it. Say effective today, that is 15th of March. I'm not sure if there are any workflows. Let me try. It will save. Yeah, it is saved. That is now effective today. Boston is the new location of the employee. That means we have transferred the employee. So here, if you go for the history of this employee, history records, it shows a new record effective today, 15th of March. What happened on 15th is location change is what it says. Location change as an event reason we say. What actually happened? So there is some change in the employee job. Event is job change. So in that job, what is the data actually got changed? Is the employee location got updated. So that is the event and the event reason. Okay, with this event and event reason, you can treat this is kind of a heading. This is kind of a heading of that particular transaction that has been performed, kind of. So before that, in 2021 21st February, there is a department change happened for this employee. Now there is a location change happened for that employee, like that. Here in the department change level, it is called transfer. Transfer as the event. Event reason is transfer of department change with transfer, that way. So in 2000, somewhere in 2014 Jan 1st, some other data change, simply a data change called supervisor change. Like that, you have a lot of things right from the employee hiring. I guess employees hired in 2002. Yeah, in 2002 it is new hire. Hiring happened. So event is hire. What kind of hire is? Event reason as new hire. So in the employee hiring level, we used to see in the hiring level, you have event reasons drop down where you will choose what is the event reason of hiring. Is that a new hire, or it is internal international transfer, or acquired employee? We used to have different event reasons when you are hiring an employee. So for every action that you do on an employee record, you will have these events and event reasons, guys. So if I go for add new employee action here now, so you will see on the hiring action, system will ask you what is the reason of hiring, what kind of an hiring is happening, is the question. So in this add new employee, the event what is happening is hiring. What kind of hiring is, whether it is a new hire, or it is internal international transfer, or it is any acquired employee. Your company has acquired some other company and their employee, and that's acquired company employees database is now merging with your data. So with what reason you are creating that employee here in the system? That is the different reasons we'll come up with. So here hide is the event and these are the event reasons. Similarly, whenever you want to make any changes on the employee record level, say employee department, employee division, anything you want to change, it's a transfer as an event. Transfer as an event, the what kind of a transfer is a department transfer or a department change. Again, for a transfer as an event, division transfer or division change you can maintain as an event reason. So like that, for every transaction, whatever you perform on an employee record, you will have this event and event reason to be maintained, guys. Event and event reason. Okay, where that will basically help you to easily identify what is the data change that has happened against any record in the system. Say example, employee joined, this current example itself, if you see, Anya Singh is joined in this company in the year of 2002, year of 2002. In last 19 years, what has happened to Anya Singh's profile multiple times, whatever changes it has undergone, you can just look at this and you can find it easily. So here data change, here is again, it is one kind of a event type. Here other adjustment as one event, transfer as a one event, like that. Under transfer as an event, what is the event reason? Transfer as an event, department change as an event reason. Here job change as an event, location change as an event reason. Like the system will give you a clarity. You need not go into each and every field of that portlet and you need not identify what is the change happen. Just by looking at the heading, we'll be easily able to identify what is the change happen. So tomorrow, even if you want to take out a report, you can take out a report on this data just by depending on the event reason fields. You will understand in 2010 what has happened to this employee, in 2014 what happened to this employee. All that you will have a clarity. Okay, so for that to happen, here now when we perform, we just went into the system. We just went into this take action change job and compensation information. I selected the job information. I've chosen the effective date as today's date, and immediately system displayed me all the job information fields, and I have updated the location to Boston. So here like this, all the fields have come up, and here in the location field, somewhere just here we have the location. Yes, I have updated this location to Boston. Okay, if you clearly observe, I just chosen the date, effective date as today's date, and immediately all the fields got appeared. I updated it. I did not select any event reason field. After choosing the effective date, immediately I changed the location and I saved it. But system on the front end, it is showing me an event and event reason for this field. For the change that has happened on today, effective today, 15th March, it is showing me event and event reason. So how are they appearing here? Event as job change, event reason as location change. How the system has identified it? Okay, yes, of course I changed the location here, but I did not choose anywhere as event reason as location change. How did system identify is what the derivation concept is. Without derivation concept, guys, so if you are required to see what is the actual procedure without event reason derivation concept being enabled, let me just show you. Just give me a moment. I'll just disable this feature in the provisioning. It is already activated. So if that feature is not activated in the provisioning, how it will appear to in the front end? Let me just disable the feature once and show it to you. And I'll also later show you where to disable that feature. Just give me one more minute, guys. So I just made a change in the provisioning settings actually. So whenever we make the change system to reflect on the front end, we are required to log out and log in back. That's why I logged out of the instance and I'm logging in back, but I'm not sure whether it will immediately impact or not. It will normally take some 5 minutes kind of to reflect on the front end or change what I made. Let me just cross check whether that is appearing here or not. Yes, the change is reflecting. If you see here, guys, now I choose that the job information is a change, effective date as 15th, and immediately without displaying the rest of the fields, it is also displaying one more field called event. Previously, we did not have it. Event is a field. It is asking me, what are you going to do on this employee? Are you going to transfer an employee? Are you going to promote an employee or demote an employee? Or you're changing the position of the employee? What kind of transaction you're going to do? So these are all the different events. The way how hiring is an event, demotion, promotion, salary correction, pay rate changes, salary correction, or demo, even this position change, any data change, everything are different kinds of events, guys. When I say if transfer is an event, then one more field will appear here on the screen called event reason. Event reason has one more field. What kind of a transfer? Say under transfer is that a location transfer. Here you have location transfer of location, or is that a department transfer? You have department change related, or it is a business unit related. So like that, what is that? You can have different event reasons. BU change. BU change is a transfer of business unit. Again, in that two different types: business unit change with pay change or without pay change. So during they are transferring you to the other business unit. Are they also making any salary correction for you, or simply they are changing your placement only in the company? Instead of this business unit, you work in this business unit. They are saying so with or without pay change. Similarly, department change also. If I go for department, search for department, system will bring. Currently, I think it's only one present. Yeah, here department change with pay change. Here, this is a simple department change without any pay change, but the second one is with pay change. Like that, for every event, that is for every kind of a transaction that you are making, you can have different categories of it. If it's transfer, what kinds of transfers? If it is promotion, what kinds of promotion? Okay, so like that we can have different events right from hiring to terminate. Even when you're saying terminate an employee, what kind of a termination? Is that employee voluntary retirement, or it is employee actual retirement, or it is self resignation, or company is going to terminate him due to some disciplinary actions, or employee absconding? With due to what reason you are going to terminate that employee record in the system is what we can have the different event reasons for termination also. I'll show you that screen as well. So for every event, you will have different event reasons in this system. So just clean it up. Here you can see that there are a lot of event reasons against transfer as an event they have given. All this. So when it is transfer, what transfer? Cost center transfer, or employee international transfer, or location change. It's kind of one kind of location transfer. So business unit transfer with or without pay change. Department transfer with or without pay change. Different scenarios are given here. So you are required to choose. If you are saying transfer, what transfer? If it is a promotion, what kind of a promotion? Say if I choose promotion, there are some types of promotions in the company that is mentioned here. So promotion with pay change or without pay change, again two things. Are they just upgrading your title or position title, or are they paying you also? In some rare cases, even these things happen, guys. They will promote the person, but they say that we will increase your salary from the next cycle. Say in the month of April, if the salary hikes are going to be decided, but in the month of December, January, on some special cases, employees being promoted, they'll just upgrade the designation, but they don't make any pay corrections. They say that we will correct your salary from coming April. As of now, only designation is updated. There are also such kind of situations. So then promotion with pay change or without pay change. So this kind of different events, for every event, what are the event reasons is what you are required to choose and make a data change actually. This is the normal standard way, the manual way, where the user who is coming to the employee record and trying to make some change, he has to choose it. So now if I choose promotion, or say example, I choose transfer, and I say I'm going to do a department transfer. Okay. So in the event reasons, I'll maintain some department related, say department change as an event reason. And now here I'm required to come to the department field and change the employee department. Say I'm required to change the employee department. So now whenever this record is saved, people will just refer the event and event reason. So they will see that okay, in 15th March 2021, there is a transfer, that is a department transfer happened to this employee, is what they understand. But if the user who is doing this, they selected department change here, but here they are coming and doing say location change. Heading what they have selected is department, but here they are changing a location from Boston to Chicago, and they save it now. So now the system is going to record this transaction as department change in the system. The event reason as department change will be shown, but actually what changed is the location of the employee. And this is where an inconsistency started in the system. This is where inconsistencies have started in the system, where anybody taking a report of this data, they will only give more importance to event reason, where that event reason is giving me an information saying there is a department change, but actually what happened is the location change. So the integrity of the data reporting has been lost. So we can't trust these reports anymore. Okay, the main purpose of maintaining all this is to make sure we are tracking each and everything in detail. So right from the employee hire to terminate, what are the different changes happening on the employee record, when are they happening, with what reason they are happening, everything to track is what we are doing. End of the day, if that data reports are not are itself not valid, so data integrity is lost there, then there is no purpose in using this. So then SF has come up with this automation concept where let the user directly come here, choose the effective date of their change and make the change. They need not select the event and event reason, the one what I shown you initially. The user is not going to select the event and event reason. Whatever change they want to make a change, let them do and click on save button. When I click on save, when I click on the save button, on save is where a business rule will be triggered in the background. That rule will have the logic for the change what the user made and clicking on save, what will be the applicable event reason he has to determine through business rule. That is where here whenever you click on save, same like the address portlet level, you validated all the fields of that portlet and identified which field is changed. Here also we will write conditions on all the fields. If position dot current value, if it is not equal to position dot previous value, that means there is a change in position. I will call the event reason as position change. If the employee's location dot current value is not equal to the previous value, that means there is a change in the location. Then I'll choose the event reason as transfer location change. Like that, for the data change, what has actually happened, what will be the applicable event and event reason, system will automatically pick. Instead of the user, we giving an option to user and he doing mistakes, we will remove that fields from the user, directly let the system do it. Okay, so that is where we make use of business rules. Okay, so here event and event reasons are the fields that will be by default actually available in the system. Whenever we enable the event reason derivation as a concept, automatically the fields will be disabled. These fields will completely not even appear. Whenever we activate event reason derivation as a concept, these two fields will not appear on the front end. So where do we activate that concept is in the provisioning, guys. That is in the provisioning under employee central module related settings. Here you have this enable business rules for event reason derivation. This is the one. Enable business rules for event reason derivation is the checkbox that we are required to enable. If you don't enable this, system will ask you the event and event reason. You are required to fill the event and event reason correctly. If you enable this, then system will not ask you, it will take care. It will look for the business rules to make sure the proper event reason is picked up or not. That is the way. Okay, so for that purpose we have a concept called event reason first of all in SF. So for the people of SAP HCM background, it's nothing but like your actions and action reasons, guys. In SAP HCM, the way we have action reasons, here it is event and event reasons. Okay, where right from hiring, as I already showed you previously, right from hiring screen followed by, I'll first show you again this one, all the three places in one single screen. So when you're trying to add a new employee, on the new hiring screen is what we saw the different event reasons. So by default, hire is the event that will not appear on the front end. tag it with that hire event. What are the different event reasons is listed here. So again, this is customer specific. Customer has to give us these types of hirings they do, types of promotions they do, types of salary corrections they do in the company. Everything customer has to give us. Event reasons are what we create based on customer inputs, but events are standard. Whenever you are performing any transaction, whatever are the events it brings up, like promotion, demotion, salary correction, the pay rate change, all these event reasons drop down or standard success factors pre-delivered events. Against an event, what are the event reasons you want is what you are required to create by checking with the customer in your requirement gathering sessions. Okay, so SF will not standard deliver that, guys. So every company might not be having all the event reasons. Say example, location related, location change, location transfer related. It's not required for every customer. Say example, I am a company with 200 employees. I have my office in Mumbai and that is the only location. I don't have any other branches, anything. Then in my company, there is no concept of transfers at all. I have only one location. So there is no point of location implementing for them. Okay, so that way, what kinds of event reasons are to be used for a customer is what we decide by their discussions. But events is a standard list around 30 to 35 events like hiring, probation confirmation, next promotions, transfers, salary corrections, separation, like the different events, even suspension of the employee suspended kind of a status, different statuses around 30 to 35 standard are given. But event reasons is what we discuss with the customer and we created this. Okay, so this
In
way,
case there is a merger going on and restructuring is required, if such sort of a cases are there, so I mean events are there for.
so if it is an acquired employee, your company has acquired another company, then here we bring this acquired employee as a event reason. So that whenever you are creating that acquired company employees in our system, we use event reason as acquired employee and we do it instead of new hire. He's not a new employee. He's part of that acquired company. We are updating his record in our database with this action as acquired employee. So my company strength is 1000. I now acquired a company with 200 employees, total 1200. Tomorrow, if you take out a report, out of 1200, who are my direct employees, who are merged employees. So by this event reason, I'll get a clarity. 200 people came through merging part through acquisition process. Okay. So that is the way we have events and event reasons, guys. Now, where do we create these events and event reasons? Is okay, one more thing. So hiring screen level I've shown you. Here we have all the event reasons because hire is the default event. System will know against that hire event what are the event reasons it will bring in here. But when it comes to employee promotions, transfers and all, you are required to choose what is the event, whether it's a promotion or a demotion or a transfer or salary correction or position change, whatever, you are required to choose the event. And for that, what is the respective event reason? You are required to choose it manually. In hiring level, directly event reason is only coming. Event is hire system got already fixed. When you are anything doing through the screen, it is obviously hiring process. One more thing at an employee level, instead of hiring and making any changes on the existing record, if you want to completely terminate, on the same take action, you also have terminate as an option here. The final termination from the company. If you go under this, here termination related, what are the reasons? The different reasons why we can terminate an employee. Termination reason as a drop down will come, which is nothing but an event reason for termination. The employee's death, that is why we are terminating that employee record, or it's early retirement, or like the different things. Different kinds of reasons are present here. Involuntary, INV is involuntary, and VOL, you'll have one more list at the bottom. VOL will be voluntary. Anything that voluntarily employees making or anything involuntary company is doing, you have different reasons. Due to health reasons or employees taking early retirement, or due to marriage reasons or any personal reasons or any other different reasons employees leaving, you can record all that. Okay. Different reasons. So these are all the event reasons created with the event called termination. So where do we create first of all these is same like last week we discussed about the concept of workflows and dynamic roles. Event reason is also a object from the corporate data model. That is one among the additional foundation objects. So we can find them from the org job pay structures. If you go under this manage organization pay and job structures, guys. So here in this screen, we have discussed about locations, pay ranges and all, and then additional foundation objects like workflows and dynamic roles also we discussed. And now one thing is event reason. So any event reasons which are already created in this demo system will appear here. Okay, but in a customer system, you will not have any single event reason we are required to create. So this is all SF pre-delivered event reasons that are present in the system. So due to any reason, you can have different event, for any purpose, you can have different event reasons created. Say that location related, if I go event reason, transfer of location as an event reason. So this is how an event reason looks like. So the code of an event reason, the name of event reason, description, the status, whether it is currently active or inactive, and with what event is this event reason created. So every event reason that you create, you are required to link it with the available standard events. As I told you, events is standard success factors pre-delivered. Whatever are the list of events that you see in SF, they are all pre-delivered. This drop down is coming from a pick list. Event as a pick list, in pick list center you have it all. So what are the event values that are coming up here are what that we basically link it with every event reason that we create. So I can have multiple kinds of transfers: location transfer, department transfer, business unit transfer, multiple. For all of them, event is transfer. That's it. Similarly, there are 10 kinds of terminations. That is employee voluntary retirement or actual retirement, or employee absconding, employee death, employee resignation. We have different event reasons. So for all the event reasons, the event will be here. You have terminate. Termination as an event reason. For all that termination related event reasons, event as termination, I can keep it. Like that, for every event reason that I create, there should be some event created in the system. I mean, there should be an event tagged in the system. Okay, that is a way. So these are the attributes that we basically maintain, guys. So whenever this particular event happens, if the employee status has to change, so whenever you hire an employee, the employee status will be active. So if I choose here, new hire, for new hire as an event, employee status will be kept as active, so that whenever you are hiring an employee, active employee status should be set as active is what we say here. So once employee is already active, now if you're going to perform any promotions or transfers or anything, so due to an employee transfer, should the employee status should change from active to inactive or any other thing, any other statuses whenever you are promoting, transferring employee, anything? Anybody? When I'm doing any promotions or transfers or anything on an employee record, should the employee status be changed from active?
No, it will always remain active.
Exactly. So already when you hired an employee is active. For promotions, transfers and all, you need not make any change on the employee status. So whenever you're creating any event reasons for promotions, transfers, salary corrections and all, they say as do not change anything in the employee status. You do not set anything, leave it blank. Mandatorily, you are required to follow this. And if, say example, if I'm terminating an employee, so it's retirement, say voluntary or anything, say example, even normal retirement also. In retirement, employee record should be kept as retired as employee status. This is the one. Okay, say example, if employee abscond, we don't have it. We have disciplinary actions, dishonesty. So dishonesty, due to the dishonesty, we have terminated an employee. This is. Other one is with retirement, if they are leaving, that is retired as a status we are keeping. If due to any reason we are forcefully terminating him, it is terminated as an event we keep it. Similarly, for some weeks or months, if company is suspending anybody, so you also have suspension related event reason, guys. So suspension, recall from suspension. We have suspended an employee, again we called him back. Like the two event reason should be there. So for suspension, suspended as an employee status. Like that, we are required to choose different statuses in success factors. Where in SAP HCM, we used to have only three: active, inactive, or withdrawn. But in SF gives different ways of employee statuses. At any point of time, you can take out a report and clearly analyze how many people are active, how many are already retired from the company, if anybody are on suspended status, everything you can record in the system. So for that, you have different event reasons. So really, if I am required to suspend any employee or what do you say, terminate any employee and all, so I'll go as per that. If it is termination, I'll go for this the event reason, what kind of a termination I'll terminate him. If it is promotion, one place. Like that, from which place we are required to handle it, we'll do it. Okay.
But the status is active in all the cases. So what is the difference between status and employee status?
This is event reason status. Are you using this event reason in the company or not?
Okay.
This event reason is being used or not. After 5 years, company says that no, we don't have a concept of suspension anymore. We are not going to suspend any employees going further. I'll mark it as inactive, so that in the front end, anytime it will not appear to me. Okay, no user can use the suspension process. That is this particular event reason related status. Okay. So anything you configure in the system, guys, not only event reasons, locations, departments, business units, anything you create in success factors, you will have that status. Say example, there is a location called Atlanta or Chicago, something, anything. So I choose this Atlanta. Currently, there is a location in Atlanta. I am having employees in that Atlanta, and the business is going on. After 2025, company has decided we are going to shut down our Atlanta office. We are not going to operate from Atlanta location anymore. Then you will not delete this location of Atlanta. You will mark it as inactive. So anything that you don't want to use anymore in the system, you'll mark it as inactive. From tomorrow, you can't hire anybody in Atlanta. System will not even show this Atlanta location while hiring process. That. So anything in SF, department, division, business unit, pay range, pay grade, anything, once you create, it is every time, if you don't want it at any point of time, it is recommended to make it inactive instead of deleting it. Because historic records level, that is required. What is employee location? So 1 year back, he's in Atlanta location. Now we shut down the Atlanta location. We have moved all the employees to Chicago. They should work from here. So in the historic data, it is still Atlanta. There are some employees who worked in Atlanta with us. Now they are not with our company anymore. When we shut down their company there, they resigned there. Like that. So anything can be. So for historic data maintenance purpose, we will never delete anything. We will mark it as inactive. Okay. So back to event reason discussion. So like this, event reasons are the additional foundation objects that we can create in the manage org job pay structures. We'll have different kinds of event reasons, guys. So hiring, promotions, transfers, all the different kinds. So under transfer, different kinds of transfer: location transfer, business unit transfer, department transfer, with pay change, without pay change, different transfers can be there. So these are all the details what we fill in. So for a transfer, we will never touch the employee status. For transfers, promotions and all, the status will not change. It's every time active. Only after hiring, the status will change for termination, retiring, suspension. For these kinds of things only, the status will change. And then the other three fields at the last are relevant when we are having only employee central payroll. Employee central payroll, if it is being used, then only we'll have some inputs to be given for these three attributes, where 99% for any other non-ECP projects, only these are required. Other last three we don't fill. Whenever ECP is there also, what are the inputs required for the payroll department? They will ask us. The payroll consultants will help us with what to be filled for each of these attributes. We will not take any ownership. Whatever data they ask us to fill in for these each and every event reason, we just fill them here. So EC consultant is only responsible till here, these parts. For any event reason, the ID, name, description, status, and event, linked event. So like this, you are required to create all the event reasons in the system, what are required for that customer. And finally, all that event reasons, few will appear in the hiring level, few will appear in the termination level when you go for this termination option, and few will appear here in the job and comp info to perform promotions, transfers, deputations, whatever.
Suresh, sorry to interrupt you, Ashok here. Can you switch off the webcam option, please? Suresh, Ashok here.
1 second.
Yeah, just switch off the webcam option. Looks like somebody is switch on their webcam.
Yeah.
Prashant, will you please switch off your webcam?
Okay. So that is how we create all the event reasons, and they will appear here, guys. Through change in job comp info, here some events will appear. Against that event reason will come. Similarly, in hiring level, termination level, in all these places, these will come. That is done. And we can manually select. So whatever is the kind of an event, under that event, what are the event reasons? So under transfer, what all event reasons? How are these all event reasons coming against transfer? Is for all these event reasons, I have kept the event while creating transfer as an event I linked. For transfer of department, transfer of location, transfer of business unit, for multiple things, event as transfer is what I tagged here. Such that whenever I am doing some record changes, if I choose event as transfer, all the event reasons what are tagged with the transfer as an event, they'll come on the drop down, and I can choose relevant to transfer whatever are there. I can choose that, and I can make the relevant changes in the employee information and save it. This is the normal approach what is actually used to be, and even it is even today. 70% of the projects, I can say even 70 plus of the projects will happen on this approach only. Okay, where if a customer don't want to take a chance, so to avoid that manual errors, so employee chooses here it as some department transfer or anything, so they choose it as location transfer, but they don't do the location, they change the department, say, then the heading and the actual change what has happened is not matching. So to avoid that cases, they come up with event reason derivation as a concept. So in event reason derivation, whenever user is making this change, so user means it's every time HRs only will do this, guys. Promotions, transfers, deputations, anything. It's a HR's job only, not a general employee. So whenever they are doing it, they just have to choose the effective date. Without choosing any event reason, they can directly go for the data change. Whatever data they want to make a change, they can change it and click on save. System will not even show that event reason field for them if event reason derivation is activated. When you click on save is what the rule comes into context. So now let us see what is that rule, how should we build that business rule. When you click on save, what is that rule logic that will help us in identifying what is the event reason. So for that, let me go for business rules, configure business rules. So here, if I start writing a business rule, click on add new rule, create new rule. On the right hand side toolbar, click on create rule, and here in the different scenarios what are listed here. So I every time recommend to go for the basic one only. The basic one only. Why I am using basic, I'll give the clarity in the next further sessions. Every time basic will serve all the above purposes, guys. Whatever you have specifically for calibration, specifically for position management, performance management, recruiting, all that specifically what are there. In basic, you can choose anything. That is, here you have a base object as an option. Here you can choose. Say if I want to write a rule now on any portlet, say job information, compensation information, anything, I can select. I can start typing and I can choose a base object. On that object, I can write the rule. But here, if you go for any of these scenario based, if you select it, position management related. So now the rule you should write only on position data. You don't have an option to choose any particular base object and all. That's the only thing what SFI has given here. Instead of you creating a base object, system will already select the base object. That is the only advantage. So this even came just around 6 months back or some 9 months back in one of the update. It has come, guys. Previously, even less than 1 year in COVID times also, it is the basic only it used to be. Only last November or sometime it should be. It came as this basic. Okay. So now in this basic, I want to write a business rule. So business rule, the purpose of business rule is whenever here people are doing some changes and they're clicking on save, system has to trigger the rule. So if here on this screen, if I have to get a rule triggered, what should be the base object? What is the screen? What screen is this, guys? Anyone? What am I making a change here? I'm trying to make a change on the employee org information details like department, division, location, any of these change. So where are all these fields part of? They are part of the job information portlet. So last session when we have written a rule on the address portlet, we have taken the base object as address model. Now the fields are now the rule what I'm going to write is on the fields of job information portlet. So for that the base object should be job information. So on which portlet data you want to write the conditions, that should be your base object. So now job information is my base object. So in the job information, again, two things, normal one and the model one. So when should we use the normal one and when should we use the model version? Anybody? When should we use the normal base object? When should we use the model base object? Poonam? Yeah. So anybody? Yeah, Rupa, please go ahead.
Yeah, I believe model is for maintaining with history dates, where we can maintain history.
Whenever you want to write any conditions on the historic data, that is the last record in the database. Okay.
When we are comparing the data.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. So now you are required to tell me whether I should use the model or the normal one. My requirement is whenever I click on save button, system should check is there any change in the data. If there is a change, for that change what is the relevant event reason, system has to pick it. Okay, if department changes the event reason. If the HR has updated the employee location, then location transfer as the event reason. System has to check it. System has to automatically set the event and event reason without manually the user setting it. So now I have to check what is the data change. So to check what is the data change, what should be the base object I have to make? Normal one or the model one?
Model.
Model, because I have to find there is a data change or not. If it is a change, what is the change? I am required to find. How will I know that there is a data change? When I compare the current data on the screen with the last record in the database, then only I can understand that there is a data change. So now I'll go for job information model as a base object, because I am required to compare the current data on the screen. Whenever user is clicking on the save button on the screen, whatever is the data, is it same as it is in the database or not, the last record in the database or not. If it's anything is not matching, then that means there is a change, and for that change what should be the relevant event reason that I should assign is what we do through this rule. So job information model. So for that rule will be first underscore event reason derivation underscore March, today is 15th, March 15th. Click on continue. That is where now the conditions, if job information portlet level fields will come now, because the base object is job information model, job information portlet related all the fields. If the employee business unit got changed, if business unit dot value, if it is not equal to business unit dot previous value, that is the current value on the screen, if it is not equal to the previous value, that means there is a change in the employee business unit. If there is a change in the employee business unit, then you are required to set the event reason. So set the, here again in the job information fields, here at the bottom under E, alphabetically under E, there will be an event reason as a field. So then you are required to set the event reason dot value. What should be the event reason? So BU change, business unit change as an event reason is what I want to select. All the event reasons what are created in the manage org job pay structures here, all this list is what that's coming in the business rule there. Same like the other day, business workflows have come here. That is only if the business unit changed. But if you say business unit did not change, one more expression you want to add else if. First condition failed, business unit did not change. If employee location changed, so here you have all the fields are alphabetically sorted. So location dot value, if it is not equal to location dot previous value, if it is not equal to location dot previous value, now that means employee location got changed. Then set the event reason. So in this, all the fields alphabetically sorted here, event reason as a field. You set the event reason dot value as location related, location change or location transfer, something is there, you can select that. So this way I'm able to choose the relevant event reason for whatever data got changed. If business unit changed, this is the event reason. If location changed, this is the event reason. Like that, I can write multiple. If else, there can also be a condition. Both business unit and location changed at a time can also happen, guys. So those are all the scenarios I am required to check with my customer. In your company, do you change at any point of time? Only location change you do, only business unit change you do, only department change you do, or there are also potential chances of both can happen at a time, all the three can happen at a time. Then we are required to include your business rule with all the conditions at a time. If everything is changed, if at a time any two are changed, for that what should be the event reason? All combinations we are required to write in the business rule is. Okay, so at the last I can go for one thing as add else. Without else, if add else, only else, no if. That is, if business unit changed, then what is the event reason I decided. If location changed, then what is the event reason I decided. Like that, for department, for pay grade, pay range, for different fields, I'll write the conditions. If I did not find anything satisfied, but there is some change still, then we'll just mark it as set the event reason as. So whenever the system has covered all the scenarios, the business rule has covered all the scenarios, till something is missing, system is not able to determine what is the actual event reason applicable here, then we will keep the event reason as a generalized one called as data change. When we don't know what should be the actual one, we can give the data change as a event reason. Let's pick this wrong field. Set event reason dot value as data change as a generalized event reason. What is the data change? We don't know. We just keep it as data change. If business unit change as the event reason. If location change as the event reason. Else, if anything is not satisfied, then we at least have to give data change or something as a generalized one. Because without event reason, system cannot save the record. Whenever you are clicking on save button, in the background, all this program will run and system will pick the event reason relevant for that, because user is not filling it. So if business rule is also not able to provide the applicable event reason, then system will end up with error, because there is a mandatory field waiting for your input. So to make sure system will not stop with any error, at the ending it is a best practice to keep it as data change as a generalized one, so that if after checking all the scenarios also, if anything is not matching, then we have this taken by the system. Okay, so that way event reason derivation related will take a separate time, guys. If a customer is opting for event reason derivation configuration on your existing project plan, whatever you have prepared for 5 months, 7 months, whatever, at least 3 to 4 weeks of additional effort will be required in doing this event reason derivation. Again, some additional billing or project cost all will increase, because we are required to discuss with the customer all the possible event reasons. What are all the different changes happen in an employee record between hiring and termination? What all more possible changes can happen on your employee record? All that we are required to first discuss and analyze. We are required to create all the event reasons in the system, and we are required to write the business rules to automate this event reason. All that should happen. For that, requirement gathering, configuration, testing, customer to test all the scenarios. For all that, minimum additional 3 weeks of additional effort will be required in the projects. Those who are ready for that additional thing only go for this, but in the real time 70% of the customers are not using this automated process. They say that the people who do these promotions, hiring, terminations in our company are only HR admins, where we have maximum 3 or 4 HR admins who will do this activity, and we will train them properly to take care of how it should work. We don't want this automation process. That is what many customers say. But SF has given this feature where some large enterprise customers they use it. So that's an important concept. So this rule, whatever you build with all these conditions, save this, and you are required to link this rule with the relevant portlet, obviously. Last time, the way how we linked our address change workflow related to the address portlet. Now this job information based portlet, whatever is the rule that you have written on this job information, you are required to link with the job information portlet. So anybody making any change on the employee job information, location change, department change, anything, this rule will trigger, and that will take care of what is the event reason applicable for the data change. So go for business configuration. Manage business configuration. So here job info is the portlet. So here in this job information level at the bottom, under trigger rules area, you can assign your rule. So job information model is the base object. I want the rule to be triggered when user is clicking on save button. So the event type should be on save. Choose it as on save. And the rule what you have created with today's date, at March 15. Select that rule. That's it. So once you save this, from next time whenever a user is clicking on the save button, with that, whenever that save button is clicked, this rule will trigger. In that rule, all the conditions the system will check, whichever is passing, as per that what is the event reason, system will pick, and the system will save that record in the database with that relevant event reason. In the business rule, I am calling only event reason, but how will system identify what is the event for that record? I'm only defining the event reason in the business rule, but not the event. How is system picking the event for that record? Is in the event reason, when you are creating it, you are already linking it with the relevant event. Once you call the event reason through business rule, the relevant event also system will automatically pick. You need not manually set it. That's why we only call the event reason, not the event in the business rule. Okay, so that is a 3-step process, guys. First, create the event reason here. First, create the event reasons, what all you want. Then to automate them, write the business rule conditions, and then link that business rule to the relevant portlet in the manage business configuration against that particular portlet. So that is how the event reason derivation as a concept works. A 3-step process. Same like what we have done for workflows. We created a workflow. We written a business rule to trigger the workflow, and that rule has been linked to the relevant portlet in the business configuration. Same 3-step process of configuration. The only advantage is whenever you use event reason derivation, system will make sure event and event reason fields are disappeared automatically in the screen. You are not required to fill it. You just make the data change and click on save and go forward. System will automatically take care. For that data what you changed, what is the applicable event reason, it will automatically pick, and it will display in the historic historic data when you go for. So that on the left hand side here you'll have that event reasons, whatever data changes happen. Not here. Employment information, right? Employment job information here. So the event reason for that date will be available. So this is on what we basically make a report. So on the report you will just see on 2021 what has happened, in 2017 what has happened, 2020 what has happened. We'll have all that in the event reasons. Okay, any questions still here? So provisioning level, this is what we are required to enable, guys. If you want the event reason concept, if you enable this checkbox, enable business rules for event reason derivation, system will make sure that event and event reason fields are not appearing on the front end. It will only look for the business rules. What is business rule saying? As per that, it will define the event reason.
Yeah, Suresh, hi. I have one question.
Yes. Hello?
Hello, am I audible?
Go ahead, Roshni.
Hello, am I audible, Suresh?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so I have one question that, as you told me, in event we need to activate in provision system. So for workflow, we also do anything with in provision system?
Excellent, that's a good question. Just above the enable business rules for event reason derivation, there is one more checkbox called enable business rules or workflow derivation, which will be by default selected actually. We need not specifically go and do it. It will be by default available active because it's not a choice, it's mandatory. Whenever a workflow has to be triggered, that is required. Whenever you made a change, system has to mandatorily trigger a workflow. There is no option there. So that is the default selection that SF will give in the provisioning. But this is an optional thing, customer choice. They want to use that automated thing, or they will manually select event reason. Event reason is an optional thing. But in a workflow, that is not the choice. This time I want the approval, this time I don't want the approval. That should not be the case. Every time it has to go for approval process. So this is the by default selected checkbox. Okay.
Thank you. And one more question, Suresh, I have.
What are provisioning related activations of Employee Central? We'll again detail discuss, guys. Not worry, we have a specific day for that. All across EC, what are all the checkboxes we are required to activate? What purpose they'd actually do on the front end? We'll come back and discuss all the provisioning activities. Yeah, please. Something else?
Yeah, one more question I have.
Yeah, please.
As we discussed that workflow and event reason both are commonly 90% the same. So when we decided to use workflow or event rule,
No. Can you come again once again? Sorry for that. Did not get you.
saying that workflow and event reason both are quite similar. So when we decided to use event or workflow,
when we decide to use event or workflow
rule and workflow rule.
No, Roshna, that question is not clear to me. That is one concept. This is one concept. What is the decision? Yeah, please continue. Don't break in between.
Okay.
Not able to follow you.
So as we last class, we spoke about if any person changes in address, so workflow will be trigger when we apply some rules like address and all changes. So event rule, this is also same.
Not same.
I think it is same.
The sequence of steps are same, but the purpose is different. There it is for approvals. There you are calling it for approval, but here it is not for approval. We have called it. We have called it to maintain one heading, one event reason heading for that field, for that data change. What has happened? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I got it now. Thank you.
Yeah. The process what we are doing is the same similar three-step process, but it is the purpose is different for this, where these event reason fields will be applicable only in job information, compensation information, these portlets, not address details, personal details. For there you will not have all that. Their workflow is supported, but not event reasons are not available in those portlets. Only for this job information, here through this path when you go, change job and comp information. For job information and compensation information, you will have that event reasons and all. Even for job relationships also, you will not have it. Only for two portlets, job info and comp info, event reasons system will ask you on the screen. So why are you promoting? Why are you transferring? Why are you giving salary increment, salary decrement, anything?
Got it now. Thank you.
Yeah. Any others, gentlemen? Fine, guys. So this is all for now. Where in our session tomorrow, we'll look into few more different cases of business rules. For event reason derivation, for workflow derivation, we saw two business rule examples, but not limited to these two topics. Business rules can be used independently also for different validations, calculations, okay, automations. For various things also we need business rules. So different examples of business rules we'll continue tomorrow and even day after tomorrow also. So different purposes of business rules we'll look into. Okay, fine, guys. That's all for now. Thank you one and all. Have a nice evening. Let's come back same time next session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.